So this is the LinkedIn DM strategy that actually books calls. Now, if you're a coach, consultant, or an agency owner and you're connecting with people on LinkedIn, but you just got no idea what to say after they accept your connection request, this video is going to solve that problem once and for all. Because the truth is that most people either say nothing or they just waste the opportunity by not saying anything, or they do the opposite and they just immediately pitch their services and then kill the relationship before it even starts. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact DM sequence that I use, what to say, when to say it, and how to move someone from a connection to a conversation to a book call in a way that just feels natural and authentic. And it's the same approach that's taken me to over 55,000 followers, all organically on LinkedIn, with over 10 million impressions, and it fills our clients' calendars to look like this, with LinkedIn inboxes that are full of qualified prospects like this, and Stripe payment dashboards like this, based on these types of strategies. So let's talk about the problem that most people are actually facing, is the fact that when someone accepts your connection request, you've really got two options, and both of them can be wrong, right? The first option is that you say nothing and you'll think to yourself, I'll just wait for the right time to reach out, but that time never comes. Then the connection goes cold and it's like a wasted opportunity. Or the second one is that you immediately pitch, and so you send a message like, hey, I help coaches scale to 6 figures, you want to hop on a call? And they either just ignore you or they politely decline, and then you kill that relationship. And both approaches fail because they don't really understand the psychology of a relationship, right? Especially on LinkedIn. People don't connect with you because they just want to immediately be sold to. They connect because they're curious. They may have found your content valuable. They might think you're just going to be a useful connection. So you want to nurture that curiosity into a real relationship, and that's exactly what the DM strategy does. So let's break down the 4 methods DM strategy that books calls without being pushy. Now, in the first message, this is the welcome message. So this goes out on day 1, right after they accept your connection request. The second one is the value message. So this goes out 3 to 5 days later after they've had a chance to see a bit more of your content. The third message is then the invitation message. So this can go out 7 to 10 days after the connection, offering some kind of free resource. And then the fourth message is the call message. So this could be 14 to 21 days after the connection, inviting them to book a call. And this sequence is really designed to build trust over time, to provide value at each step, and to move someone forward towards a conversation naturally. So I'll show you what each message could actually look like. Now, in the first message, the welcome one, this goes out on day 1. The template for this would be something like, hey, name, thanks for connecting. I've been following your work at company and really appreciate what you're doing in the industry. Looking forward to staying connected. That's it. It's really short, it's friendly, it's genuine. You're just acknowledging the connection, showing that you actually took a look at their profile and setting a positive tone. So there's no pitch, no ask, just a warm welcome. And it really has one goal, just to make a good first impression and to keep the door open for future conversations. Now, the second message is then the value message, right? And this goes out 3 to 5 days later. So an example could be, hey, name, I saw your recent post about topic and thought it was spot on. I've been working with a few industry leaders on related challenge, and one thing that's been working really well is quick insight. Thought you might find that useful. So you can see what's happening here. You're referencing something specific that they posted. You're then adding value with a quick insight, and you're showing that you're paying attention. So this message actually builds credibility, and it positions you as someone who's knowledgeable and helpful, not as someone who's just trying to sell. And the real key here is that you're still not pitching, you're just building the relationship. Now, the third message, the template for this is, hey, name, I just put together a short guide on relevant topic, and I think it would be really valuable for someone in your position. It covers key benefit 1, key benefit 2, and key benefit 3. Would you like me to send it over? So this is where you make your first ask, but it's low friction and it's high value. So you're not actually asking for a call, you're not pitching your services, you're offering a free resource that's genuinely helpful. And when they say yes, you send them that resource and then capture their email in the process. Now they're in your funnel. Now this message moves people from being a connection to a lead without it feeling pushy. Now the fourth message is the call message. So this goes out 14 to 21 days after the connection. So the template for this would be, hey, name, I've really enjoyed connecting with you over the past few weeks. Based on what I've seen from your content and your work at company, I think there might be some interesting overlap in what we're both working on. Would you be open to a quick 15-minute call to explore that? No pressure, just a conversation. So you can see here that you're not saying, let me pitch my services. You're just saying, let's have a conversation and see if there's overlap. You're referencing that the relationship that you built, and you're making it low pressure. So you're basically framing it as a conversation, not as a sales call. So this is the message that can actually book calls. And because you built some trust over the previous messages, the acceptance rate is much, much higher. Now, the reason that this can work so well is because, first of all, you're building that trust over time, not rushing the relationship, and you're giving people time to actually see your content, to learn from you, and to decide if they do want to engage further. Second is you're providing value first. So you're not taking, you're giving. And when you give first, people are much more likely to reciprocate. Third, you're making it feel natural. So the progression from welcome to value to invitation, then to call, it feels more normal, like a normal relationship and not a sales funnel. And finally, people buy from people that they trust. So by the time you invite them to the call, they already trust you because you've demonstrated your expertise and provided value without asking for anything in return. And this is the psychology that actually drives high ticket conversions on LinkedIn. Now, in terms of timing, you might be thinking, well, why are the messages spaced out the way they are, right? With day 1 and then 3 to 5, then 7, then 14. And the main reason is that, like, the first message, that's really your first impression. So you want to do that immediately after they connect while you're still top of mind. The next message, then, this gives them a bit of time to see your content, to get familiar with you before you reach out again. The third message, by this point, they would have seen your content a few times and then they're ready for a deeper engagement. And then the fourth message, this is after they've consumed your free resource, they've gone through your email nurture sequence. Now they're warm and they're actually ready for a conversation. So patience really beats desperation every time. When you space out your messages strategically, you'll build trust instead of triggering potential sales resistance. Now, let me tell you what not to do in the LinkedIn DMs, because these mistakes can actually kill your relationship instantly. The first thing is, don't pitch immediately. If your first message is a sales pitch, you're done. They're going to ignore you or they're going to disconnect. Also, try and avoid sending generic copy-paste messages. If your message could be sent to anyone, then it's not necessarily going to work. Personalization is really important. Also, don't ask for a call before providing value. You haven't actually earned the right to ask for their time yet. So provide value first and then ask. And you'll find that these mistakes are the real reasons why most people fail at LinkedIn DMs. So if you avoid them, you're already ahead of 90% of the competition. So a couple of tips in terms of personalization to make yours stand out. First of all, reference their recent posts, because this shows that you're actually paying attention to their content. The next thing is mention their company or industry, because this shows that you've done your homework and you're not just spamming everyone. The third is acknowledge a shared connection or maybe an interest. So if you've got mutual connections or you're in the same industry, then make that known. The goal is really to make it crystal clear that you're not just copy pasting the same message to hundreds of people. You're having a real one-on-one conversation, and this is what separates high performing DMs from what can feel like spam. And when you do that, you'll find that about 50 to 60% of people will respond to your welcome message. And that's a really good sign and a very good rate, especially means that they're open to a conversation. You might find more like 30 to 40% will accept that free resource when you send that message. And maybe 20 to 30% will book a call when you send that call message. And that's a qualified conversation with someone who's already familiar with you and your expertise. If you compare that to just raw cold outreach, you'll be lucky if you get 2 to 3% response rate. So this strategy can be much more effective because it's built on trust and value and not interruption. So to turn this into a system, you can either have a CRM or a simple spreadsheet, basically track your connections and then set reminders for your follow-up messages, and then just be consistent, because consistency is really the key to scale. This isn't a one-time tactic. It's really a system that compounds over time. Now, this is just like a small snapshot of some of the types of things that we cover within our Influx Autopilot system, designed to generate qualified leads on autopilot. And it's the same thing that underpins the $50,000 pipeline guarantee we have for our clients in 90 days. So if you don't want the full framework, the exact DM templates, the content strategy and more, I'm going to leave a video in the link in the description box below of this video, where you'll be able to just see a short breakdown that I put together to help you to understand a bit more about what this would entail. Now, if you found this particular video helpful as well, please do take a second to like it, comment, share and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.